Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Sunday. And what does that mean? It means it's time for the Sunday sermon. Yes, it's June 22nd of 2025. And today we're going to talk about developing a relationship with God. It's not that complicated. So stay tuned. Alrighty, welcome back. My name is Eric, if you didn't already know it. And yes, this is the weekend. This is Sunday, so it's time for the Sunday sermon. So, what are we talking about today? Well, let me first start off by telling you about how well I'm doing with the book, A Heartbeat from God. If you haven't already read it, it's up on Amazon, Kobo, and it's being reviewed by Barnes and Noble. But a lot of people are downloading it through their Kindle, and just A Heartbeat from God. And I'm looking at retiring, and I'm on a good roll right now because it's been out now for 2 or 3 days, and I've made 55 cents. Don't quit your day job, right? It's never been about money, and it never will be about money. So if it helps one person, that's my take on it, then it was worth putting the time in. In actuality, it has helped one person. It's helped me get it out because I needed to express a lot of the things that I went through and how appreciative and how much gratitude I had for the people that surrounded me throughout it, and that you guys were included and still are. You know, you guys have been a big plus of getting me back on track for my recovery. And Amos, you're a big supporter, especially with you having gone through it and kind of giving me the heads up. It's greatly appreciated. So, the Sunday sermon, what are we going to talk about today when it comes to the Sunday sermon? Well, the relationship you have with God is between you and Him, nobody else. There's no three-way, it's you and Him. You don't need anybody to do your bidding for you, to go out and try to get you closer to Him. You can do that at any time. You know, and I've had people tell me, well, I've done things that I'm ashamed of, and that, you know, in my past, that God just isn't willing to love me. And that's so far from the truth. You know, and I equate this with you guys out there that are parents, just like me. One of the things that I taught my kids from an early age was at times you're going to disappoint me. At times I'm not going to approve on what you're doing and how you're doing it. But never equate that with love. I will always love you. It's just there's going to be times that I disapprove or am disappointed in your actions. End of story. Does that mean that you can never have a relationship with me? Hell no. My kids are very important to me. And with God, you're very important to Him as well. But the conversation has to take place between you and Him when it's your own time. Not on somebody else's time, on your own time. And it can be done anywhere, anytime, any place. And you don't need to talk out loud, because if you start talking out loud, you're going to end up in a mental institution. But no, the conversation is just opening up to Him, you know, and He can hear, He can see. And the thing is I see a lot of people try to approach it, and they're not being totally honest with themselves and with God. And that tells me if you're not at that point in time, then you're not ready for that relationship, are you? Because there's nothing that He doesn't see or hear or feel. And if you're trying to run a bunch of BS by Him, you're going to get crickets. Because when you come to Him, you have to be totally open and honest with yourself first. and then be that with Him. You do. And the thing is people say, that they're not perfect. Well, I'm the most imperfect person there is on this freaking earth, all right? And when it comes to doing things and making mistakes and doing the wrong things, it's not if, it's when. It's when it's going to happen. And I know that there's going to be other times in my life that I'm going to be less than perfect. Well, if I wasn't perfect to start with, but I'm willing to be open and honest with myself about my imperfections, then God's willing to listen to me. If I go to Him with a BS story again, crickets. The other thing that I see, this is not to judge, nothing else. This is just what I see, all right? I've had so-called Christians that use it when it suits them, and then totally a-holes the rest of the time. You either are a good person or you're not. Can bad people become good people? Absolutely. Can good people be corrupted to become bad people? Absolutely. God gives us that choice of how we want to choose our path, if that makes any sense. It's not a path for you and somebody else. It's your path. And you're going to choose those and choose wisely, because you are the one that's going to have the repercussions of it. If you choose a path that causes hurt to others, you have to face the repercussions of it, right? And it may not be here, but up there when it comes your time. The other misconception that people that are religious, so-called religious, feel the need to convert everybody else to become religious, and that's not God's will. The only one He's looking for you to convert is yourself, if and when you're ready. He's not, the expectations of you going out and getting a bunch of more people to believe in Him is not what He's looking for. They will come to Him on their own time, just like you will, just like I have. I mean, it's a personal relationship that you have. And then I've seen others that will put in the fear, the wrath of God. God doesn't want you to fear, no more than a parent wants a child to fear, right? Because if a child fears a parent, that isn't a good, loving relationship, is it? Because the child is living in fear all the time of doing something wrong. The same holds true with the relationship you have with God. You should never fear God. Never. He put you here to make choices, and hopefully you're making the correct choices. All right? What I can tell you is you can take a Bible verse and have 10 people read it, and there could be 10 different interpretations of what that verse actually says. Are any of the 10 wrong? I guess that's a personal opinion. But it's all in what our agenda is when we come to the verse. All right? And I'm not saying that it's an outwardly agenda. It's your thought and your thinking and how you interpret that verse. God never wants you to fear Him. If anything, He wants that loving relationship with you, the open and honest relationship with yourself first, and then Him. And then I've seen, and I'm not judging, I'm just telling you what I see. And I've seen so-called Christians use it when it benefits them, and then be totally non-Christians the rest of the time. And that's their own bag, okay? I'm just saying that if you have a good relationship with God, that means you're open and honest with yourself. You're open and honest with Him. So if you're being, in His eyes, a good person when it suits you, and then not so good when it doesn't suit you, I guess you're not being open and honest with either one of you, right? With you or Him. Again, He lets you choose your path. He's not going to hold you back from doing whatever. But He also wants you to understand that you have to face the consequences of your actions as well. It's not that hard to be a good person. It's actually easier to be a good person than it is to spend a lot of time being a bad person. And how do you define a good person? A good person is just do unto others as you would hope they would do unto you. Help others succeed, because when they succeed, you succeed. Hold someone's hand to comfort them when they need comforting, and make someone feel special when they're lonely. Every one of those things does not require a lot of effort. It's just an action, right? And if we're being true to ourselves and true with others, it's not that hard to be a good person. People tend to overcomplicate it. Being a good person is not forcing yourself onto others and trying to get your will. It's not. It's about having your own house in order before you go out and start judging other people's homes, right? And I remember an old saying my grandfather, I know he didn't come up with it, was never throw a stone from a glass house, right? And that holds true. But if you walk away from this morning session with anything, there's nothing that you can do that would make it so that you could not have a relationship with God. You're still going to face the consequences of your actions that you've done here, right? Because you have a choice. But you can't be in it halfway. And by going to church on Sunday and saying your prayers does not give you that closeness with God. It gives you that closeness with community. But the closeness with God is between you and Him and nobody else. You don't need anybody to go in between. You don't need me. You don't need a pastor. You don't need a rabbi. All you need is you and Him. And you being honest with yourself and Him. That's all. It's not that difficult. So I'm going to start wrapping this up. If you learned anything from today, is you can have a relationship anytime you want with God. God doesn't want you to fear Him, nor does He want you to go out and convert a bunch of other people to become His children. It's a personal choice. And you get to choose. So choose wisely. So on that note, you guys have a great Sunday. And hopefully, something told me that somebody needed to hear that today. So hopefully, if you're out there and you heard it, and I helped you, I'm helping myself. So on that note, you guys have a great Sunday.